Here are 10 easy ways to earn more credit card points faster. If you're into the points and miles game, then you already know you can get thousands of dollars in cash back each year or even more in travel using credit cards. But the main limitation for most people is how many points you can earn from your regular spend. So in this video, I'll give you 10 ways to earn more points faster, starting with some beginner strategies, moving all the way to some very advanced strategies so you can earn more points for cash back and travel. So first up on this list is to put all of your expenses on your credit cards. This seems pretty obvious at first, but there are a few nuances and we all need to cover this base since it's the easiest, lowest cost way to earn more credit card points. Whether it's groceries, dining, gas, entertainment, or any other expenses, make sure you're putting them all on your card. If you're trying to earn a welcome bonus, I would make sure I'm putting all of my expenses on that one card. And if you're not earning a welcome bonus, I would just make sure you're using the highest earning card in that category. It can be annoying to swap out cards that are set up for auto pay, for example, to pay off your phone bill, but the cost is pretty high in the long run if you don't, and you'll earn a lot more points if you make sure you're optimizing all of your spend. Next up on our list is another beginner strategy, and that is buying gift cards. If you know you're going to shop at Target, Walmart, Amazon, then you can often buy gift cards to those retailers for no activation fee. Meaning, for example, you might spend $100 on an Amazon gift card and also still have $100. So your spend will have increased, but you won't be out of that money out of pocket. This can be a great way to meet a minimum spend requirement, and it's really easy to redeem the gift cards if you know you're shopping at that retailer regularly. Some credit card companies can be strict about buying credit cards and might treat them as a cash advance. This comes with a lot of fees, so you want to avoid that. And the easiest way to do this is to simply buy a gift card while you're shopping for other items. Now, for the most part, I would make sure you never buy a gift card with an activation fee. Usually these are the prepaid Visa and MasterCard gift cards. And that's because usually the activation fee offsets the benefit in points you're earning. There are a few cases where your card might earn more than the activation fee, but for the most part, I would stick with places you know you're going to shop. The third way to earn more points faster is friends and family. To give you an example I used recently, my wife's family wanted to get together and take a trip to the beach. We knew there'd be about 14 of us staying in an Airbnb for a few days. So I offered to help book the Airbnb and pay for it using my credit card. Once that was booked, I had each of the family members send me their portion of the money, and that was an easy way to put a few $1,000s spent on my credit card. Obviously, you need to make sure you trust the people to pay you back. But if they were going to pay for the expense anyway, usually it's pretty easy to simply have them send you the money instead through things like Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, or Zelle. So if you have friends or family who know they're gonna have large expenses, have them let you know and offer to put it on your card so that you can earn the credit card points. Next up on our list is strategy number 4. This is going to be the beginning of some of the more advanced strategies, and that is to prepay known expenses. Pretty much all of us have expenses we know are going to come up each month, and you can often prepay those expenses. Since you know you're going to pay for these expenses anyway, in the long run, you won't be putting any money out of pocket, but you can increase the spend on your credit card. For example, you can often prepay things like your phone bill, gas, electricity, or insurance. A problem you might run into though, which is why this is a bit more of an advanced strategy, is that oftentimes you can't pay using a credit card, or they might charge you a fee that just doesn't make sense because it costs much more than the points you would have earned on your card. And to get around this, you can consider using a service like Plastic. Plastic allows you to pay them with a credit card for a 2.9% fee, and in exchange, they'll send a check to the company you're trying to pay. So while I'm not a big fan of this strategy because of the 2.9% fee, there are times you can prepay without a fee, or times where that 2.9% fee is far less than the points you'll earn from a welcome bonus, for example. So I think this is a good strategy to have on hand, especially if you might have to reach a little bit in order to meet the minimum spend requirement on a welcome bonus. Moving on to strategy number 5, this is for people who have an HSA. An HSA is a health savings account, and it's something that I think many people would benefit from. Pretty much all of us are required to have health insurance, and you can usually get a health insurance plan that includes an HSA. The advantage of an HSA is that all the money you put into your health savings account is non-taxable. So it's a pretty safe way to save on taxes that you would have paid otherwise. And most of us have medical expenses that we'll pay for at some point. But one advantage that many HSAs have when it comes to credit card points is that you can reimburse yourself for medical expenses that you paid with your credit card. So for example, if I go to the doctor and pay a $200 bill using my credit card, I can reimburse myself $200 from the HSA without any fees, plus that money was not taxed anyway. Just make sure you check with your HSA provider to make sure that you can reimburse yourself, and double check that the medical expense you're paying for qualifies as an expense your HSA will cover. Strategy number 6 is to pay for large expenses using your credit card. Most of us have a few large expenses we pay for each month, such as rent, mortgage, car payments, or college tuition. But it's pretty rare to be able to pay for these using a credit card that doesn't come with some fees. But you can use services like Plastic, which I mentioned earlier, that can allow you to pay these large expenses using your credit card for a 2.9% fee. Again, I would only recommend using services like Plastic or others like Melio if you know you're going to earn more than 2.9%. And this is pretty much always the case when it comes to welcome bonuses. So don't forget about some of those larger expenses that we don't often think about when it comes to paying with credit cards. Number 7 on the list is to pay or prepay taxes. Normally, you're not able to pay your taxes using a credit card, but there are a few services out there such as payusatax.com that allow you to pay your taxes for a 1.85% fee. And that fee actually isn't too hard to beat using credit card points. Many cards earn 2 points per dollar, such as the Capital One Venture and Venture X, the Citi Double Cash, and the Amex Blue Business Plus. And while you're only earning a little bit over that 1.85%, most of us are usually paying thousands in taxes each year, which can really add up. So if you have a 2x earning card, the math is definitely on your side. And if you're earning a welcome bonus, this will often make even more sense. All right, now let's move on to strategy number 8. Now with some of these last few strategies, I do need to give you a few disclaimers. These are pretty advanced ways to earn more credit card points, and they inherently come with some more risk. I think it's good to be aware of all of these, and there's definitely some sweet spots where they work very well, but just know that there are risks ranging from the strategy not working at all to getting shut down with the bank. And I'll break that down in each individual strategy. But strategy number 8 is funding bank accounts using credit cards. Now this used to be a lot more common, so be aware that not everything you might read on this is the most up to date. Very few banks allow you to fund using a credit card, but recent data points on accounts like the US Bank Smartly account have reported that they have been able to fund bank accounts using your credit card. Now, why would somebody want to fund a bank account using a credit card? Well, first of all, often you can earn a bonus for opening the new bank account. So you might earn a few $100s just for doing this. But the simple explanation is that you're spending money on your credit card while also having that money in a bank account. Thus, you're increasing your spend without any money out of pocket. In the good old days, you could use this to earn a lot of credit card welcome bonuses. But like I said earlier, this isn't so common anymore. But I definitely think it's worth checking with your bank or researching online to see if you can fund a bank account using your credit card. The nice thing about this strategy is that there's not a whole lot of risk as long as you're not funding your bank account using a credit card from the bank you're trying to fund. But as long as you're keeping these two banks separate, often the biggest risk is that you just get rejected when you try to use your credit card to fund the bank account. Moving on to strategy number 9, and this is probably the most notorious way to increase your credit card spend. I will tell you that I've never personally used this strategy for myself, and I don't recommend it for most people, but it's probably been the biggest and one of the longest lasting ways people have used to earn more credit card points faster. And that is to use gift cards to buy money orders that they then deposit into their bank account. So the idea here is to buy a Visa or MasterCard gift card with the lowest fee possible, although many people do end up paying the activation fee. They'll then take that Visa or MasterCard gift card and go to a grocery store or Walmart and buy a money order. A money order is basically a check and is often used for people who don't have a bank account. And it costs 60 cents to $1 in order to buy a money order. But it pretty much acts exactly like a check. So if you bought a $200 gift card, you go and buy a $200 money order minus the fees you paid to buy the money order. You'll then take that money order and go and deposit it in your bank account. Again, not with the same bank you're using your credit card with. So after you deposit your money order, you then use the balance in your bank account to pay off the bill of the credit card that you used to buy the gift card. And with that, you can almost create an infinite money loop with a few fees on the side. This is probably one of the most risky ways you can use to increase your credit card spend. And again, I really don't recommend it. I won't break down all the risks with this, but just know that many places do not allow you to buy money orders using gift cards. And many banks will shut you down for depositing too many money orders. But a lot of people report that doing this in very small amounts, infrequently, has never been an issue for them. So definitely tread lightly with this and do your own research. This is for educational purposes only, but I just wanted to tell you about this strategy because it's probably one you'll read about online when trying to learn about how to increase your credit card spend, and I think it needs to be explained a little bit more clearly than a lot of people explain online. And number 10 on our list is to use buyer groups or buyers clubs. This is one that I don't often hear talked about in the credit card space, but to me it's one of the better strategies with a lot less risk than the money order strategy. However, there definitely are some risks, and I'll tell you all about that. But first, let me explain what a buyer group is. So in a nutshell, a buyer's group is a bunch of people who buy products at discounts to then resell them. When popular products go on sale, retailers will usually limit the amount one customer can buy. So businesses who want to get a bunch of those products on sale come to those buyer groups in order to get a bunch of those products to resell later. So the way the buyers group works is that you'll get an email about a product on sale. Let's say it's an Amazon Echo. You'll then purchase that Amazon Echo at a discount and ship it to the buyers group. Once the buyers group receives the product, they'll then pay you for having bought the product, and sometimes you'll even make a small commission. This definitely isn't a big money earner, but it's a great way to increase the spend on your credit card. This is definitely not a strategy I would recommend for beginners, but buyer groups are pretty popular and are an easy way to increase the spend on your credit card. Retailers like Costco, Best Buy, Amazon generally don't like resellers, but there's nothing inherently wrong or illegal about buying products at discounts and then selling them. However, just be aware that that is one of the risks. If the retailers notice you buying a large volume, they might shut down your account. I will say it is pretty speculative, and I wouldn't risk any money that you can't afford to lose. Some buyers groups have gone out of business in the past, and people have lost a lot of money. But I think for the most part, buyers groups have been increasing over the years. So as always, use caution and make sure you do your research before trying this strategy, but it just might be a way for you to earn a lot more credit card points. That's it for this video, guys. If you found it helpful, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.